Good afternoon, good evening, good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us, whether you are live or watching us later. Thank you so much. And we are here. This is probably going to be one of our favorite episodes. I could already tell, right, Mr. Racinos?
Yes, I think so too. But I feel like I haven't seen you in a while. We haven't
I
been on,
haven't
have
seen
we?
you. I have not seen you in a long time. You're correct.
We've been traveling. We've been
It
out
is
there.
conference season, so we've been traveling, everyone. But if you've missed us, we've missed you more. And so let's go ahead and get started with our topic today.
Sure. Let me go ahead and go there.
Thank you. All right, everyone. So we are back. It's been, a few weeks since you've seen us. And we are on our second episode of Reimagining Literacy in the Age of AI. And we've been going all over the place, presenting all about AI. And today we're going to be especially talking about these awesome tools called Reading Coach and doing a little bit of review on reading progress. And you don't only see our faces in here, you also see a very special teacher who's here to join us today, who is really out there using these tools. But before we do that, Mr. Racinos is reminding me on screen to make sure to thank our sponsors, the reason why we get to do this. Training for all of you. We thank our CTA so much. Thank you. Our HLPTA, also the ILC, and for letting us do what we love to do, which is support and help teachers all over. So go ahead.
I just got to plug this. So next week, we are going to be at the Good Teaching Conference with CTA talking about artificial intelligence. So I had to say that.
Yes, so if you're going to be at the Go Teaching Conference, which is one of the best conferences out there, please come say hi to us. We'll be out there presenting, so hopefully we'll see you there. All right, so let's begin. Let's welcome our guest, Mr. Racinos.
Yes, let's welcome her with stars.
Thank you.
Welcome, Mrs. Ruiz. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're going to go ahead and get started, and then we're going to ask you a few questions if you don't mind. And we would love your advice because our teachers love to watch us. We have quite a few watching us live right now, but they're going to be watching later as well. And they really know, what is up with this tool and does it really work inside the classroom? I think if I were them, that's what I would be asking. So, yes. So be ready for that.
I'm ready. All right.
All right, everyone. So this is a quick sampling of Reading Coach that we're talking about today, and it stopped going for some reason. It's okay. We'll just keep going.
There it goes.
Oh, there it is. It's amazing. And if you've ever used Reading Progress before, it's very similar, but even better. So we're going to show you what that is today and how that really ties in with Reading Progress and how you can use both of these tools with your class. So let's go ahead. That's our goal.
Before we start, we can't deny that AI has been everywhere. And you hear a lot of good things, a lot of bad things, right? But this is actually a good thing, AI for good. And we were lucky enough to have KTLA come to Mrs. Ruiz's classroom and see how she is using Reading Coach in her classroom to personalize learning for our students. So I'm going to play this, if it's okay, Teresa, before we start. So let me go ahead and play it. Okay, so we're going to go there.
The AI app that is helping students read better.
This guy, Rich Jamuro, explains in today's Tech Smart. And Rich, let me just say this right off the bat. One of my daughters who goes to UC Santa Barbara, right? They have had to put out, and I think a lot of colleges have done that. They put out warnings. Do not use AI. We have tools to check for it. But in this case, it's not that.
Yeah, we've heard a lot of warnings about AI and its use. And of course, we're still figuring out exactly how it's going to be used by students. But this is a good use of it.
Okay.
This is learning to read, all thanks to AI. We know that learning to become a better reader is a fundamental part of the education process, but now AI making it easier.
Okay, class, go ahead and open up Reading Coach.
Students at Baldwin Academy in La Puente are learning at the speed of AI.
She learned how to fly spacecraft.
Some were breathing fire, watched as the queen organized.
They're using a new tool called Microsoft Reading Coach.
It's very different from any other thing because you use AI.
I usually choose like the main character as a cat. It just helps my fluency in talking and reading.
It helps you understand words that sometimes you don't know how to pronounce.
The students, part of a pilot to see how the tool could benefit classrooms.
We're always looking for those opportunities on how to best provide an engaging learning experience for our students, where we leverage digital technology to help our students accelerate their learning.
Reading Coach starts by asking students to pick a main character, setting, and a reading level. AI generates a custom story on the fly, listens to them read it, and scores their proficiency, highlighting words they had trouble with. It then builds those words into a new story for extra practice.
He had been practicing for months. Today at and search for your acorn.
It's just really engaging, and that's really important at this age, at any age, really.
5th grade teacher Ana Ruiz says she likes the web-based app because it's easy to use and helps her gauge each student's reading proficiency faster than ever.
All I have to do is look over their shoulder and I can see where they're at, who needs the help.
And the research on reading is really clear. What's important is that students read more. It doesn't matter what they read, it matters how much they read. Students who read more are better readers, and better readers do better across all of the curriculum.
The free tool is now available to everyone at coach.microsoft.com. The AI carefully crafted to be safe for students.
So it has a lot of guardrails and is really built with Microsoft's promise of responsible AI.
Wow, I can never watch that enough. So Mrs. Ruiz, she'll be available for autographs after this. Oh my goodness. So Ricardo, go ahead and tell us a little bit what we're looking at right here.
Oh, these are just some pictures that we took, behind the scenes as we were going through our pilot of Reading Coach. We were lucky enough to be selected by Microsoft as a school to do the pilot. And for whatever reason, my videos are not loading, but we'll go back. But here are some of our students right here as they were actually doing the pilot for us. Yeah. We'll go ahead and continue, I guess, because it's not loading. Okay. And, something that I did want to talk about is all of the research behind it. Okay. So it's a tool, not just Reading Coach, but also Reading Progress that is based on research. Okay. So this is some oral reading fluency research that was done by Microsoft and other companies. And there's 4 samples that I'm going to put on the chat about how fluency develops from reading practice, how oral reading fluency practice continues to be important in middle school, how oral reading fluency instruction helps struggling readers, and finally, how oral reading fluency in middle schools helps predict reading comprehension scores into high school. So this is based on research, and we know that the tools actually work. So I'll put that research right now as we continue. Anything you wanted to say about the research, Teresa, before I move on?
No, I mean, we'll talk to Miss Ruiz about that as we demo the product, but very important, because I know a lot of teachers get these tools and they're like, cool, fun, but is this really going to help my kids? Is this worth the little time that I have with them in the classroom? And so I guess we'll just ask you on the spot, since Ricardo just put me on spot. Ruiz,
Okay.
you've been using this briefly because you were part of the preview, actually, before anyone else got to try it, so that you can really give them your feedback. Do you feel, and you can be honest here, do you feel it was worth the time showing your kids how to use this and actually getting them to use it regularly?
Yes, it was completely worth the time. And it's so easy to use. It didn't take time at all. Especially, I mean, I have 5th graders, so it's elementary, but they were able to just jump right in. It didn't take any time, and I can fit it in just a few minutes, and we were done. It doesn't take a whole lot of planning. I tried it also with my son, who's in 2nd grade, and he was also able to do it quickly at home. So it's a great way when I don't have time to read an entire book with him, but I want him to improve on his reading, to just quickly set it up and have him pick what he wants to read, and it gives us a quick passage. So very easy.
I love that. And so if you're here wondering, if this is going to be adding more to your plate, then please stick around, because I think it definitely does not, but it really has great benefits. So let's continue on with our presentation, Mr. Vecinos. I don't think we're going to watch this video unless you want to.
No, we don't have to.
We're
So
gonna
let me go to
skip
the next one.
through it.
Uh-huh.
So Reading Progress is part of what's called Learning Accelerators through Microsoft. And what it does, it really provides real-time coaching. It frees up the teacher so that you can assess and check where your students are. I mean, I know, Ms. Ruiz, you've experienced this. Your students are out there using Reading Coach, Reading Progress. They're doing their thing, and you're just walking around monitoring. And it kind of gives you the time to pull those kids who really need the extra help while everyone else is working at their own pace. And it is coaching them real time. They finish and they know how they did. There's a coach afterwards that helps them practice the words, and you don't have to do anything. So that's kind of the big deal. And that's the family where this goes. It's under Learning Accelerators. And we did that in another show. But let's go ahead and go forward, Mr. Racinos. So just a little bit of review. We won't do all the slides, but learning accelerators, why? Like, why do we want to use something like Reading Progress or Reading Coach? For the student, it's real-time coaching, and they don't need to wait for you. It's inclusive by design. Everyone is working at their own pace. So it's not one size fits all. We know that already. And for educators, it saves time because you're not pulling the kids one at a time to see where they need to work on their fluency. You're having it done all at once, and you get that data back right away, so you know what you need to do, how you need to adjust your instruction, right? And it's actionable insights. That's what I just said. So you get that data back, and then it tells you what you need to work on for every student. So that is why learning accelerators is so important.
And inclusive by design, because immersive reader is also inside of it, which is a great tool that can definitely support our students. So we'll show that today too.
Yes. Okay, so and this is our big why. We talked about the what, but why? Why learning accelerators? Because 30% of learning loss in reading. Fluent readers are 4 times more likely to graduate high school and get better jobs. This is data right here. So it's really important for our students to be able to read, and we heard that in the video, and it's, just keep reading, get them to keep reading. This is a way to practice, but not just practice. It gives us the feedback that we need, so we know how to support them, right?
Yep.
So,
Doesn't matter what they read as long as they're reading.
Yep, definitely. So what experts say, this continued why, it's personalized, highly engaging, consistent, and moderate practice in the most effective approach for closing learning gaps. So it's highly engaging. Mrs. Ruiz, when your kids were using it, were they bored? Were they excited to use it? I mean, how were they feeling when they were using these tools?
They were really excited. They loved to be able to decide what their story was going to be about. They loved getting the little badges that they earn the more they read. That was exciting to them. And just seeing it pop up like instantly and having that control, because we control so much of what the kids do nowadays. We're on a schedule. We have so many of the kids. Just looking to adding to what you were saying about, for me, identifying the kids early on who need that support is major. With, over 30 kids in a classroom, to be able to listen to them read that initial, when we first start the school year, to have the time to sit and listen and identify and group the kids takes so much time. And this just really helps with that.
Yeah, definitely. That segues into the next few slides. Actually, you kind of read
Yeah,
our mind.
I think that's the great thing about Reading Coach, as you were talking about it, right? That now we have a tool that is allowing our kids to have personalized learning because they have a choice, and it just complements Reading Progress, where you as a teacher are deciding what they're going to read. So it's just amazing to have them both
And
together.
some of our viewers are like, "What is it? They're talking about it. It sounds amazing. I don't even know what it is." We're almost there, and we're not trying to sell it. We don't work for this company, but we do love to show you what's the best of the best right now.
And it's
right
free.
now, this
It's
is
free.
the best, and it's free, and it's for everyone. And so this is why it's so important. We feel it's so important to get this tool out there to as many kids as possible, because we know we can help them in this way. And Ms. Ruiz, this is exactly what you were saying pretty much. With this technology, it's like there are 20 extra teachers in one classroom, and it could all be managed with just a few clicks. It's very easy to use. It's rewarding, like we see every day in our class, and it works. And so it's just like having a lot of people helping you at the same time, other coaches in the room when you're really just by yourself, right? So, so very cool. And here's what we're talking about. This first one is Reading Progress. And we'll talk about how that relates to Reading Coach. And here, Ms. Reese, if you didn't know, you were in this feature right here. See that GIF showing? That's not us.
That was just part of it. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, you're famous again. Reading Coach is more independent, and the Reading Progress looks very similar, but it's where we can get the data and the insights, and you can choose what they read at that point. But we'll go ahead and take you through that so it makes sense to you. So let's go on, Mr. Racinos. Okay. I think we can go on with our demo at this point.
Yeah, let's go ahead. Okay, so let me go ahead.
As you're pulling up the demo, there are these tools that we'll share later, but as you're pulling up the demo, Mr. Racinos, Ms. Ruiz, can you just tell us a little bit about your background, your story? Tell us a little bit about yourself while Mr. Racinos is pulling up the demo for us.
Sure. I've been at HLP USD for 18 years. I've been in 5th grade for the last 13 years. So been there for a while. I've been using technology as much as I could. I do have a master's in technology education, but as you know, technology is changing all the time, and keeping up with things, learning, use it, it can be intimidating. And then having the kids try it. Now we're at a point where the kids know more than us. So seeing all of these things, it makes it so exciting to be in the classroom. I definitely jump right in. I love trying these new products. I'm so motivated to incorporate technology into my class. So I'm definitely pro tech. And yeah, I hope to continue using it. And I'm up for all of these changes.
I love it. Miss Ruiz, we approached her with something she knew nothing about at the moment. We're like, "You want to try it?" And she's like, "Sure."
Yeah,
so
and then it's
we're
like
very
snowballed
thankful.
into, and they want to come in. Oh, there's going to be a crew. Oh, and KTLA. And I'm like, oh. Sure.
So
I mean, it's for everybody.
We've been talking about this for the last 16 minutes now, but we're actually going to show you what it is. So if you've hung around for this long, thank you. It'll be worth it, we promise. So let's go ahead and introduce to you Reading Coach, and then we'll see how it ties in with Reading Progress in a moment. So go ahead.
We went ahead and put the straight link for the web base on our comments, so you can access it. So it is a web-based app that you can have, but in addition to that, it also is a app that you can actually install on your computer. So if you go to the Microsoft Store, you'll be able to install it that way too. But we do recommend that you use it as a web app. It's so easy to use, but just so you know, that's available there. I just wanted to go through the page before, Teresa, really quick. So this is something that, again, personalized, targeted practice, inclusive by design, responsible AI. That's big to us. And I wanted to mention that you can use this at home. Parents can set this up with a personal email address if they wanted to. Students and educators can also join the community to give feedback. And if you are interested in this, you also have the ability to have your IT set this app so that you can use it with your students' email accounts from school, which is what we have done. And we have a couple of surprises today. So we actually have that set up. So Ms. Ruiz, let's ask you about that question. So how difficult it is for students to log in and to be able to access the software?
It's a breeze with the web base. Like you said, I put the link on Canvas for them. They click on it. They do their usual sign in with the credentials that they've always used for everything. And they're right in. I mean, it took us seconds. Very easy, user friendly.
Perfect. And starting tomorrow for HLP USD only, we have the ability to have Reading Coach automatically in our class link launchpad. So our students are going to be able to see Reading Coach, click on it, and it's going to automatically sign them in and take them inside of it. So it's going to be amazing. There we are. I didn't even have to type my username and password.
That happened in like 2 seconds. Sorry, it just kind of took me by surprise. So HLP and everyone out there who's planning to do something just like this, but for our folks in HLP, starting tomorrow, your kids can go into ClassLink and click on Reading Coach, and bam, they're right here. They didn't have to log in at all. It is here for them. And Ms. Ruiz, I'm sure you'll love that too.
Yes, that's a game changer for the little ones. My son's teacher asked me about it. She's like, so tell me more at parent conference. This is what we were talking about. I said, well, right now they have to have their login. And she's like, oh, that's still a little bit difficult for them. And now I'm going to text her as soon as we're done with this and be like, do it tomorrow.
Don't get excited. It's out tomorrow.
So it's that easy. She can do it tomorrow.
So since we're here, Ms. Ruiz, tell us about, like, we see it. It's pretty self-explanatory, but tell us about what we're looking at.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and talk about it, right? So I think the game changer for me, and I'll tell you a story. You know the story with my daughter and how difficult it was for me to help her start reading and also improve her reading and her fluency, right? Literally, I couldn't find anything that she wanted to read. I will have to sit in front of my computer and create stories and type stories about a unicorn. And I will spend hours typing the stories and uploading them at Passage of Your Own, basically, right? And it took me a lot of time, but that was the only way that I could personalize her learning. Guess what? With AI now, I can come in here, I can say, create a story using AI. So we'll do that first, okay? Now I can come in here and say, okay, I want my character to be There it is. The one she loved. I want it to be a unicorn, right? So all I have to do is click on it. So our students are taking control of what they're reading now. And I want it to take place in an island. Why not?
Okay, why not?
And now it tells me choose level. And Teresa, I know you wanted to mention these levels really quick, so I'll let you talk about them.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, I just, for your students, since it's this self-selected, I suggest choosing a lower level, and then when they feel more comfortable, continuing to increase. And I don't want the kids to think of this as grade level. This is not really a grade level. This is just a way for us to see levels for ourselves. So 8 does not necessarily mean 8th grade, and 1 doesn't necessarily mean 1st grade. So it's up to you how you want to start them. Maybe you want to start them in the middle and then they move up or down depending on their comfort level, or we all start at 1 and kind of move up and progress. So it's entirely up to you, but I don't think of them necessarily as grade levels, but as more of just levels as we select things.
I agree. I think that when we first did the pilot, that was one of the things that I saw, and seeing it now with just numbers. I think you really nailed it with saying that for the kids, it's just better to think of it and see it as levels, and that way they could go back and forth, and it has nothing to do with grades.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Another thing that I wanted to mention, we won't have time to show it today, but Immersive Reader is here. So that parent that might need extra support translating this into Spanish, they have that right there to help their students. Okay. So we're going to choose level 1 today. Okay. So again, I picked the unicorn. I think I picked the island, and now AI is going to do its magic, and it's going to look at it, and it's going to create a story for me. Okay. And it's going to tell me, okay, welcome to Reading Coach, right? Select allow. In case you have to select your microphone, you have to say allow up here. And when you're ready, start recording. So I can come in here and click start recording. Before I start, notice that Immersive Reader again is up here. Inclusive by design. And I'm going to click and I can start reading, and I'm going to make some mistakes, okay? So I'll prompt the kids. Sparky the white unicorn lived on island alone. During a walk, he found a mysterious cave. It called to him. Sparky wondered what was inside of it. When our students are done, they press the button, and this is brand new that we didn't have before. Talk about choice, right? Now our students, it says good job, right? If they want to be done reading, they can say see results, or they can choose to continue their story. And now they have a choice. They can go to the secret of the mysterious cave, right? Because now they're being engaged, right? They talked about a cave, or they can go into the unknown. So now they have a choice selecting which one they want to go to. Should I do one more, Teresa, so they can see it?
Sure. Yeah, let's do one more.
Let's do one. So let's go here. And it's going to, again, use artificial intelligence to create that story for them.
So amazing.
It's creating, right? Same idea. I'm going to start recording. Sparky the unicorn walked towards the cave. He wondered what was inside. The island was small, so he had explored. And again, I'll make some mistakes. And when I'm done reading, I'll press stop. And they get 3 chapters right now. So if I wanted to continue, I can continue with one more choice where I want my story to go, okay? But for today, we're going to stop it right now, okay? And I want you to see the results. I'm going to go and click see results. And this is what we love, right? Data right on the spot. Not only the data, but also using artificial intelligence to create the picture of my unicorn and the island, right? I can see my pronunciation. I can see my reading time. I can see the words that I had trouble with right here, right? And it's going to bring another tool in here to practice the words. Or keep reading because I have a 3rd chapter in here, right? So if I wanted to practice the words, I can go in here. So artificial intelligence is looking at what I read and it's deciding that I had trouble pronouncing these words right here. And I can go and say practice words, and it's going to go into the words, and I can actually listen to
These words were the most challenging for you. Select any word to tackle them again.
So I can go in here and click on it.
When you're ready, press the microphone and read the word out loud.
So I can listen to it.
Inside.
I can stretch the word out. And then when I'm ready, I can say inside.
Your effort is showing. Great reading.
And you can continue to the next word and the next word. I'm just going to go ahead and skip them. But that's the idea, that at the end, you're going to be able to practice those words, right?
So I'm just going to mention something really quick, Ricardo. So that what you just saw with the words, a lot of you might have said, oh, I already know what Reading Coach is. Before, when we heard Reading Coach, it was just that. It was just the words and practicing the words. So when people think, oh, no, I've heard about that, it's not the same. This what he just showed you from the beginning, from choosing the story, that is now Reading Coach. And in addition, the original Reading Coach is at the end where they actually can practice the words. So, so very cool that it's still there. And they have other options too, not just AI, right?
Yeah, and I wanted to mention that they do have passages already available for our students here. So if they wanted to click on here, they have all these passages that will tell them on the level, right? If it's fiction or nonfiction, and how many words there are in there. So that's in there for them. Again, by levels in here. You also have the ability to add your own passage, what I was doing with Tony Ray, right? Creating my own passages, right? And Ms. Ruiz, tell us about the achievements, because I heard your students love the achievement and the badges that they're getting, right? Is that?
Yes, they can earn different badges for different accomplishments, and that's just adds to the excitement of reading. It's another motivator. And kids just love that sort of thing. It's like going on to another level. So they do get a little obsessed with that.
So I love that. How about the history, Ms. Ricinos?
Yeah, and once they're logged on, it's going to remember everything they read, keep reading, read again. So they're going to have all these beautiful pictures created by AI about every book that they've read. So think about it. I was looking at one of Mrs. Ruiz's students, and they had basically a shelf of books that they had created and they had been able to read. And it was amazing because I asked her student, she's like, oh, I use it all the time. She goes, I just keep reading and reading and reading and reading. And it was interesting to hear that her mom was using it. She's learning English and her mom was using it too. And I thought that was pretty incredible.
I mean, that's every teacher's dream, right? You're a student like, I just keep reading. It's so fun. You're like, are you sure?
I know.
And it really is. And so everyone, that is Reading Coach. And I guess the big thing, 1, it's easy. 2, it's free. 3, it's available to everyone. So that is the big thing. And then we see that. And so when Miss Ruiz is walking around her class, she can look over their shoulder and she could see how they're doing right away, right off the bat. But
I like the way, sorry, Teresa, I like the way also they're able to check their progress and then go back to the story if they would like. So kind of even within the chapters, say, oh, how did I read that last part? And even try to challenge themselves while they're reading that, 3-part story. So that's a great tool.
Cool. Yeah, I never thought of it that way too. It's kind of like a game, like you're trying to beat your own scores.
Yes.
Really cool. I love that. Thank you for telling us. Yeah.
I know there's some updates coming that we can't talk about them yet, but Ms. Ruiz, for someone that doesn't want to be over the student's shoulder to look at that data, how have you tackled that to be able to have access to that data, or at least to be able to see it?
Well, right now it's just, walking around, looking at their screens. Another way that I've done it, or I ask them to share with me, we use Canvas in my classroom. So I've also had them take screenshots and submit how they're doing, just so that I could see it all in one place, make sure that I don't miss anyone. But for Reading Coach, that's the way I normally do it.
Well, those are great ways that you figured out how to keep track and make sure that they're doing what they should and they're continuing to improve. I think, Ricardo, I don't know.
No, I love that. We can't talk about the updates coming up yet.
No, but okay, so let's say we can't talk about it, but we can talk about this. Can I move on to the next thing?
Go ahead. And don't forget, Reading Coach available HLP USD starting tomorrow.
Tomorrow on Class Link. Very exciting.
So cool.
Okay. So, for now, we love reading progress. We love reading progress. And the great thing about reading progress is that the teachers select what the passages are, and then you yourself can see the data come back from the students. So I'm going to go ahead and share screen with you. I'm going to share the screen. I'm not used to sharing this tiny screen, but I'm going to do it anyways. Okay, so I'm going to share screen, if you don't mind. Here we go. So I'm going to work a little bit backwards, Mr. Ricinos, if you don't mind. I'm going to show them what the data looks like when it comes back to me. So I had Mr. Ricinos, my student, read this passage. And as a teacher, this is what I get back. I can see his accuracy rate. I could see which words were mispronounced, insertions, omissions, things that he left out, repetitions, self-corrections, right here. And then his rate also, and practice words. So did he practice the words at the end? So I can see all of this great information. I'm going to do this. So that's accuracy, right? I'm just showing it to you backwards so that when we go into it, you see what we're actually looking at. And there's this cool thing now that wasn't there before. It's expression. And I remember when we used to sit there and listen to our students read, and we don't want them to just read like this, like a robot. We want them to actually read with expression because that helps them in their comprehension, right? So there's even expression. And Mr. Rosinos did a great job. Right here, there's a monotone score, and he was not born. Anyway. But it would tell you, so you can kind of talk to the kids about like, okay, so maybe we can do some expression here. Maybe when there's a period, we can actually stop and, exclamation marks and listen to those question marks and have those conversations, right? So when did they interject these things, right? You can see right here, a period, you can go through this when you do your own, but very cool, very useful. And you could also listen to it and watch him do it again. And another layer, and this was a big request from some of our
Brand
teachers who were
new.
using the last few years. Oh my goodness. They were like, accuracy, but I have to work on comprehension. I don't have time to do both every day. And we're like, well, guess what? Now there's comprehension questions that you could do as well. So when your students are done reading, they can answer the comprehension questions too. So we can go to comprehension here. And I can choose my own comprehension questions. I can make it up. Oh, Mr. Rosinos, you didn't really read, did you? But you know what was really cool about this? I actually used AI. So I used AI to come up with a reading with a passage. And then when I went to comprehension, I asked them to come up with it too. And they came up with the questions too. So as a teacher, I simply was like, make this passage about this, make 3 comprehension questions, and bam, I assigned it right away.
So fast.
So fast. And so as a teacher, I only assigned him one thing, but eventually I can go to his account and I could see his growth over time. And I could also look at my class as a whole, and I could see, okay, my class is really struggling with, art controlled. I can know exactly what we need to work on as a class, and I could do it by student. This student really needs help with, art controlled or something. So I can work on that with this student, and I can also create assignments just based off that. But that's going somewhere else. So let's just go through how to actually assign this. So teachers who are out there using Reading Progress, this is how you do it. And if you haven't done it before, and Miss Ruiz, if you haven't done it before, I think you have, but I'm going to show you.
I have, but I still have a lot to learn. So I'm sticking around for this.
I love it. Please don't leave. All right. So I'm going to, where am I? Where'd they go?
Assignments?
I know I was there, but it wouldn't show me the little button. Oh, because my StreamYard button isn't there. Let me move my StreamYard button. Here it is. So here I am in assignments. Teachers, if you're familiar with making Reading Progress, we also have it available, I believe, in, well, it's coming. Here we are. We're going to create a new assignment. And from here, you can just do new, or from Learning Accelerator, since we said it was a Learning Accelerator. You can go to Reading Progress. And you have a choice in here. You could import Word document or PDF. So we have some teachers who, they read their stories with their class, and they have little passages that they study every day that go along with the story. That's what they upload because they're doing it anyways. They might as well do it in here and get the data back. You can generate reading passage, which is using AI. And you also have browsing a sample library. And so you can click on that and you can choose a whole library of things you want the whole class to do. But I'm just going to, for the sake of time, I'm going to generate reading passage. Here I am. I could choose a topic. I don't know. Animals. My kids love animals. I'll just choose age, length, language. And these are challenging words right here. So I'm going to go ahead and generate reading passage.
Those are challenging words that I've had as you give me assignments, so it remembers. Yeah. And I
using
know
that.
someone in the chat just asked if you can do it in different languages. And yes, if you're using Reading Progress, you are able to do it in other languages, and you would have been able to select that right there.
Definitely. Yes. Thank you. So Mr. Rosinos has shown that in another episode as well, doing it in Spanish and any other languages for your students to practice. And so look, from down here, I can change the complexity. I can lower it. I can raise it. You know your kids. You could take a look at this and say, okay, you know what? My kids can handle a little more than this. Or like, no, I think I need to lower it a little bit so that they can be successful. So Mr. Rosinos, I feel like I'm freezing. Am I okay for you?
You're okay. You're okay.
Okay. All right. I'm going to keep going. So I'm going to use passage. And here is this passage. I can click on this if I want the student view. I can edit as well. There are so many things we could do here on the side. I'm not going to go through all of these because that's a whole different episode. But right here, add comprehension. So I'm just going to say, yeah. And I can generate questions. I can add my own. I'm just going to generate questions because I'm a busy teacher and I don't have time to come up with my own. I choose how many I want them to do. Maybe I just want them to do 2 because I have them do it every day. I don't know. So I'm just going to say next.
Magic.
Magic. And here we are. Here are the questions based off the passage. I can add new ones. I can edit, so and this is ready to go. So when I'm done, I can go to next. Well, I'm going to close it. Oh no, keep programming. Next. So here I am. It's inside of my assignment now. And if I want, I'm going to give it a title. You notice Mr. Racines always gives the title first. I give the title next because I don't know what passage I'm going to choose. So now I saw the passages about zebras. So now I'm going to enter the title. That's entirely up to you. There you go. And then down here, oh, you know what? There's something I wanted to show in there. Can I show it again one more time, Mr. Racines? Oh, it doesn't show. Okay, anyways, there was a something there that asked if you wanted to use reflect, and then I should have said yes, but it's okay.
So the ability to check on our students how they felt about the assignment.
Yes, I did that in an earlier assignment with Mr. Racines, but I got too excited about comprehension. Okay, so you could also
It's right
ask
there.
them.
It's right there.
Where
It's
is it?
right there. Reflect check-in.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
it's right there. It tricked me. Okay, so right here, reflect check-in. I turned that on for him earlier in the other assignment. And I turn that on, and then he gets a reflect check-in. And if you don't know what that is, we have another episode for that as well. So I'm going to go ahead and assign it. You can save it as draft. You could schedule it if you want to. I'm the type of teacher who does everything on Monday or just one day of the week, and I plan everything for the rest of the week. So you can do that as well. So I'm just going to assign it. And now in a moment, Mr. Racines will see that pop up on his end. And I don't think he has to demo it again, but it's in essence the same thing you saw in Reading Coach. But now it's with a passage that I created, and now I can track his data, so I can go into my insights or into my data and see how he did. So let me see. Let's go to reading. So here I am. I can see these are the words that he was challenging for him. His accuracy, how it has changed over time. Average words per minute. And we tell teachers, it's not always supposed to increase. Sometimes it gets more difficult. So it might even go down a bit. So keep that in mind depending on
The insights are amazing. Can you go up a little bit, Teresa? There's something new right there too. Notice that keep going up. It recognizes which words I had trouble with. And now you have the ability to generate a passage with those words that I'm having trouble with using AI.
Yep. So here you are. So these are words that he had difficulty with in his reading. So you can generate a whole passage just based on that, or you can create a list of practice words.
Mhm.
So, I remember being in the classroom and having these words that we had to study and taking time to come up with a story that goes along with it for them to read. And now I no longer, and just like what Ricardo said, his story that he had to do for his daughter, and that's a true story. He actually did take the time to do that. And now he has help. He doesn't have to do that on his own. So all this data will come back. And this is what I'm talking about here. Look at this. It shows how they did in the different phonics rules. And you can create an assignment based off of this. So if he needed help with something, let's say he needed assistance in these areas, I can create a challenge assignment just based on those skills. So teachers, if you didn't know that, this is amazing. So it's not just about doing it with fidelity, doing it all the time. It's taking the time to look at the data and taking action on what the students need. So I see this is what my student needs. Here are assignments to support that. It doesn't just work by itself. We have to do something with the data, right? So very, very cool. Again, that's another episode. All right. So Ricardo, did I miss anything?
No, I don't think you did, but I'm thinking that a lot of teachers might be asking, at least HLP USD teachers, okay, what are you using? Canvas? What are you using? So you were using Microsoft Teams, but it is very easy for us at Hacienda La Puente to just go into your Canvas course. So I'm inside of one Canvas course. Go to settings in here. Go to feature options. Oh, sorry, integrations. I'm sorry, not feature options, integrations, always on the bottom for me. And by just turning Microsoft Sync on, this will actually roster a Microsoft team for you with all of your students to be able to just have them go in from Canvas into the teams where you are going to be creating those reading progress assignments.
And if you need support with that, Ricardo has some how-to videos showing you how to go through all those steps so that you could actually tie it up with your Canvas and so you can assign directly. And we have some surprises too, which we can't talk about yet, but it's coming soon to make things even easier. I don't think it's very difficult already, but to make things even easier for you and the students. But we hope you have found that tool super useful. And I'm going to ask you one more question, Ms. Ruiz, if you don't mind.
Of course not.
Do you have any advice for other teachers who are looking to incorporate tools like this, like AI or Reading Coach, or, you've been through it. So do you have any advice for teachers who might be a little bit hesitant?
Oh, the number one thing is just go for it. Try it, dive in. If it doesn't work, then, you continue doing what you're doing, but give it a chance. Don't be scared. Technology is not always perfect. So you might, it won't be perfect the first time, and that's okay. Just try it, and I think you'll find that you'll love it. These tools are here to help us, and AI has sometimes been scary for a teacher because we don't know if it's safe for the kids to use, or kids are using it inappropriately. And this is a way that we could use it to benefit us and for the kids to really take something positive from it. So my advice is just do it. So if we have, and now that we could use ClassLink, oh my gosh, just do it tomorrow. It's Friday, Fun Friday. Kids are excited to try new things.
Oh, thank you so much. And I think that's a hesitation too. Teachers are like, really? Are you sure? And
they want to do a huge setup, which I get, but just jump in, just say, hey, let's all try something today and get them going. And once we see how it works, then we're not afraid to schedule, especially with that schedule ahead feature on Reading Progress. I love that. You get to choose. The other thing that I was thinking as you were speaking was that you get to choose too who you assign it to. You could assign it to the whole class, but you could maybe assign it to 25 out of your 30 kids, and those other 5 might get a separate assignment that is a different level. So I love that feature too.
Love it. So everyone, go out there, try it, try Reading Progress, try Reading Coach, and let us know how you love it. Let us know what you might want to improve. Microsoft is always listening, even in a matter of a month, 2 months. We've given suggestions, and we've already seen it come out, right? Mrs. Ruiz, her own students gave suggestions, and we already saw it come to fruition. So it was amazing. So everyone, give it a try, help our students out. It is easy to do. And if you need any support, let us know. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. And thank you, Mrs. Ruiz.
Thank you, Mrs. Ruiz. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.